and welcome to the Visionary VA podcast, the go-to show for ambitious virtual assistants who are ready to stop trading their time for money and start scaling their businesses into thriving agencies. I'm Holly Copsey, founder of the award-winning agency Virtually Priceless and the Visionary VA Circle community. Each week, I'm here to bring you actionable strategies, proven systems, and mindset shifts to help you transition from a solo VA to a visionary agency owner. If you're ready to grow your business to dizzying new heights with less stress and more success, you're in the right place. Hello and welcome back to the Visionary VA podcast. Today's episode is a little more personal, but I think it's an important one. I want to talk about why focusing on a hobby has been one of the best things I've done, not just for me, but for my business too. In 2021, 3 years into running Virtually Priceless, I got back into horse riding after a 15-year break. At the time, I had no idea how much that decision would impact me in my personal life, my mental health, and even my leadership in business. So let me take you back. I'd been running my agency for about 3 years. The business was growing quickly, which was brilliant, but it was also incredibly overwhelming. And my personal life was going through some big changes, and I found myself constantly feeling like I was on it with work. I just didn't have anything outside of work and family that was just mine. Everything I did was tied to being a business owner, a mum, or both. And somewhere along the way, I'd lost myself a bit. I was also at a stage where my children were going to stay with their dad every other weekend, and I really struggled with the empty weekends and often found myself just working extra hours to fill the void. I'd always loved horses. I grew up riding, I lived on a farm, I competed, I had that whole horse girl identity. And then life just got busy. My horse had a career-ending injury, and I just felt like it was time for a change. So I built my career. I had children. I bought a house. Everything else took priority. But in 2021, I worked with a therapist and a business coach, and they both insisted that I do something that brought me some joy and took me out of my business at least once a week. It wasn't about suddenly having loads of free time. I definitely didn't. But I realised if I didn't make space for something I loved, I'd just keep putting myself last. So I found a way. I started riding again just once a week. And it was like flicking a switch. Something inside me woke up. And that period of getting back in the saddle coincided with some really tough moments, personally and professionally. But having this thing outside of work gave me something to look forward to that had nothing to do with my to-do list or client deadlines. It gave me perspective. If I had a stressful day at work, I could go to the yard, focus on my riding, breathe in the fresh air, and come home calmer. It reminded me that it was more than just my job title. It gave me confidence back in a way I didn't expect. And when things felt messy in my personal life, horses became a safe space where my brain could switch off. And it also gave me thinking time. Even now, I use it to help solve problems in my business. If I'm having a tough day or I've got a difficult situation to deal with, I'll go out for a ride, have that space, that clear headspace to just think. And it's amazing the solutions I can come up with or the ways I can see something a bit differently. Running a business can be all-consuming. And if you're not careful, it becomes your identity. And that's dangerous because it means every business wobble feels like a personal failure. Having a hobby, whether it's riding, painting, running, or baking, it gives you perspective. You remember there's more to life than work. And it gives you headspace. You can't solve every problem by staring at your laptop for longer. Sometimes you just need to get away from that screen and do something else. And it gives you energy. Doing something you love recharges you so you can show up better for your team and for your clients. And it also gives you confidence. Making progress in a hobby reminds you you're capable of learning, growing, and succeeding outside your business bubble. And it's funny, there are so many lessons I've learned from riding that apply to my business as well. Patience and consistency pay off. You can't rush progress, whether it's training a horse or building a team. And balance is everything in the saddle and in life. And confidence comes from doing the thing. You don't magically feel ready. You get ready by showing up. So if you're thinking, I don't have time for a hobby, I get it. You're busy, but you don't find time for things like this. You create it. You make it because you understand the return on investment isn't just feeling happier, although of course that's important. It's being a better leader, being a better parent, a better partner, making clearer decisions, having more patience, and avoiding burnout. Since 2021, riding has been my outlet, my reset button, and my reminder that I'm more than my business. And I'm convinced that's made me a better business owner, better mum, better partner, and just more me. So my challenge to you this week is this. Think about something you used to love doing, something you've pushed aside because life got in the way. What would it look like to make space for that again? Because I promise you, the more you nurture you, the more your business will thank you. And remember, you're not just building your dream business, you're building your dream life. So don't just think about work. Make sure you get the personal stuff right too. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next week.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of the Visionary VA podcast. I hope you're walking away with fresh ideas and inspiration to scale your VA business. Don't forget to check out our free mini course on building solid business foundations, perfect for setting your VA agency up for success without the overwhelm. You'll find the link in the show notes. If you enjoyed the show, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a review. See you next week.